first of all, it cuts to black, and you have like the text that comes up as he's sort of thinking things to himself, his depressing thoughts.
It's like losing himself.
But then it comes from black into the chamber, but then goes back to black, but leaves Zidane alone in like a void of blackness.
That's right.
Which is what's happening in his mind. His mind is in the process of being sort of erased. He's like, who am I? Right? He's like even struggling to remember who he is. So like it seems whatever process Garland was doing is like happening, but is interrupted by Vivi and Echo arriving, which is really important for the whole theme of this sequence, which was, again, what Amaranth learned about Zidane's way of thinking is what beat him, which was his strength comes from, one, his virtue in the sense of his willingness to do whatever it takes to help someone in need.
Right.
And how that built a foundation of friendship around him to where he was always helping these other people. And in turn, they wanted to help him, but he never saw it. So we left off with gaining the airship.
Gaining the airship. Garnet gaining her voice back.
Yep. And
losing her hair.
Yes.
And we gain the ability to fly around. And we also get to listen to the airship music, which is
it's really good. I really like the airship music in this game in particular.
Too.
I mean, airship music is usually really good in these games, but there's something about this one. It's just like really, really upbeat.
It's upbeat. It's freeing. It's just fun. It's a really good song.
It's a great one.
Makes you feel like you're flying just listening to it.
So, with the airship comes lots of possibilities for more side content.
Yep.
I'm not talking about that anymore. We've talked enough about that.
We have. But going back to Quan's dwelling.
Oh, yes, we got to talk about that.
It's kind of fun. You can do this at any point.
You have to have Vivi and Kina in the party.
Yeah, that's right.
Together. Yeah. But you get a really great scene if you go back to Quan's dwelling.
Yeah, it's very fun. So basically, Quina sees like an illusion of food. Basically just shows up and is like, there's so much food, and Zidane is there like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing here. And Quina just gorges herself on all of this food and is just like stuffed. And then immediately is like, wait, where'd all the food go? It's all gone, right? So there's this big illusion happening. And then Zidane tries to explain, like, there's nothing here. And Quina's just not listening because all of a sudden it's like, wait, I smell more food or something else over here, and just walks away. And then we see Quan kind of explaining the theory of like why he did what he did. Basically, it's a he, his grandpa. We're just going to say he for Quan.
Yes.
So he basically explains to Quina that like, hey, the stuff in your imagination is like just as good as the real stuff. And if you don't have imagination, then that's the real problem, right? So if you just imagine stuff, it's way better than eating real stuff. And Quina's like, I don't know, not quite there. But then Quail shows up. And Quail's like, no, don't listen. This guy's wrong. He's a traitor. He did the wrong things. And so then Quan kind of explains, like, listen, it's good. There's other ways than just consuming everything you see to live life and to advance in the world. And if you have a good imagination, then everything will work out. That's what Vivi taught me, is what Quan says. So when Vivi showed up, Quan began to gain the ability to be more imaginative, I suppose. Yeah. And what's really funny about this is that all these characters are here talking, and Vivi is there and seeing the whole illusion. And even Quina says, this is an illusion. What is with the illusion? But Zidane can't see any of it. Zidane is just like, what are you guys? Everyone's here talking, and there's stuff here. I don't see any of it.
He thinks they're just talking to nothing, talking into space.
Yeah.
Great One posted the exact line of dialogue I wanted to bring up.
This is funny.
Because, as is often the case with Kina in this playthrough, I feel like there's a deceptively profound sentiment to be found in something that on its face sounds real dumb or shallow.
Yeah, totally.
So what Quan says is people who have imagination know taste until they actually eat.
Right. Yeah.
And I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
What does he mean when he says that? Right? You can only understand, or you can only learn from, or you can only get something out of an experience by touching.
Yeah, physically,
yeah.
Or consuming,
tasting, having these senses activated.
Yeah.
With imagination, you don't have to taste to get something
like satisfaction,
out of it all the time.
Right.
Right. I think there is something kind of profound in that, even though the line comes across as laughable, or you kind of chuckle at it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
People who have imagination know taste until they actually eat. So that's kind of the lesson, really, in its kind of purest diluted statement there that he pulled from his experience living in this little cave and in raising and teaching Vivi.
Yeah, Vivi.
Right.
Who Vivi taught him to have imagination. But so Vivi has the imagination. And then Zidane doesn't, which is a bit of a critique on Zidane himself. He lacks imagination. It's a failure of imagination on Zidane's part that he can't see this illusion, right? He can't see what everyone else can see, right? Not everyone else. Specifically, Queen and Vivi can see this thing. And Vivi says, I'll explain it to you later, Zidane. And Zidane's confused, doesn't know what's going on. But I feel like maybe there's something like that where maybe Zidane himself, how would I even put this? He needs to physically experience things in order to understand them at the moment. And he can't really just like think about it too much in his mind, that he can't imagine these things. He just needs to experience it. Something like that might be the case with Zidane.
I was also thinking that, and this goes a little bit into kind of what we pulled out of our Never-Ending Story conversation when we did our analysis on that movie. As you get older, right, as you become a more sophisticated person, whatever, there are certain childlike traits, like sort of a raw creativity and imagination that are sort of beat out of us in favor of other things that align more with this ordered world and following the rules and doing what society tells you is sort of like the right way to live your life or whatever.
Yeah.
So there have been multiple parts in this game now where Zidane has observed Kina and looked down on her as being of lesser intelligence. Yeah. I mean, there's the whole part coming up where they go to the elemental shrines where he ends up being the one going with Quina because he doesn't think it's a good fit with anybody else. And he's like, I kind of just got stuck with the leftovers is the sentiment there. He obviously looks down on Kina.
Right.
Does not see Kina as an equal to himself. Has, I guess, some kind of preconceptions about Kina and its level of intelligence. And I think that is playing a part into this too. Zidane's not seeing what they're seeing because that would be dumb in the adult mind to be talking to an imaginary friend, so to speak. Yeah. Right? They're having this profound moment, both Kina and this child, Vivi. Which are using their raw creativity and imagination that has not yet been beaten out of them by society. And that has already happened to Zidane, who is, kind of entering that adulthood. He's an older teenager, I would assume, 16, 18, whatever.
Something like that. Probably around Garnett's age, 16-ish.
Where, that's already been trained out to a certain degree. So he enters this scene and sees a bunch of people acting like little children and is confused. But I do think that there's something really important about not losing that as you come into your adulthood. And without, spending a lot of time sort of delving into that, I'll just point you to our Never-Ending Story conversation. If you've not seen our breakdown of that movie, we talk a lot about that there. That's a big part of the core theme of that movie. So go watch that. But I think that's kind of touching on a little bit of what's going on here as well. So I like how they're framing. I mean, almost every time, Kina in Zidane's eyes as being something lesser, but Zidane's missing the point. Zidane's the one missing the point. I think that's really important. You know, we could all stand to be a little bit more like Kina and Vivi and Baku in our lives.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I like that.
And a little bit less the way we're, you know, meant to act as adults in society or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I pulled from that scene.
I like it.
Okay.
So should we just go straight to Ibsen's Castle?
Yeah, I think
Ibsen's Castle's crazy.
yeah, this is another good dungeon.
Oh, it's really, it's really cool.
Most of the treasure chests in this dungeon have beginner weapons, like weapons from way at the beginning of the game.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You're reminded. So this was so okay. So I haven't played this game in a long time.
Yeah. This
was shocking for me. I didn't really get exactly what was happening at first. But the lower level your weapons are, the better they actually perform in battles.
Yes.
Which
in this particular dungeon,
just here,
you need to use weak weapons. Weak weapons are stronger. Strong weapons are weak.
Yeah.
That's the gimmick of the dungeon.
And here's the cool. Okay, this is how that connects with Ibsen's Castle just in general. Remember when we first show up to Ibsen's Castle, Zidane looks at it and he goes, "It looks like it was built upside down."
Yes,
is what Zidane says.
Yes, right.
This is an upside down castle. It's very strange. You go in there, you're walking through the arches of doorways that are curved at the bottom. You know, but the opposite of Gothic architecture. Yep. Well, not the opposite. It's just upside down. Well, that is the opposite. Anyway, I'm not saying it's not Gothic. I'm just saying it's the upside downing of Gothic architecture.
Reversed, mirrored, whatever.
It's wild though, but it's really cool. It looks beautiful, first of all, but a lot of things here are inversed, and the whole place is kind of upside down. And the weapons, the fact that your lesser performing weapons, beginner level weapons, are performing better than your high leveled weapons is another way that's just everything's kind of inversed here. In this particular place, everything's reversed. But there's something about the game itself that does carry this message with it, at least a little bit, that things maybe aren't always what they seem, and that sometimes the opposites can coincide, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Such as Zidane is a thief, but but
a virtuous thief.
But he's a virtuous thief, very virtuous. He's a thief who likes to help people. He is a thief who becomes a hero. So heroes can be thieves. Basically, I wrote some of these other ones down. Heroes can become thieves. Warriors, like Beatrix and Steiner, they show their vulnerability. And then people who are outcasts are able to find like a group, like belonging together and be together. So the opposite things are meeting together in the game. And Ibsen's Castle seems to be like kind of like a focal point of where these things are happening. And everything is turned upside down. And there's some really cool symbolism happening here as well.
It's really interesting. Like you said, a lot of the doorways, you're walking through what would be like the top of the doorway. It's just all kind of flipped. So it's really cool visually. Again, I mean, I've said it many times throughout this series we've done. I am appreciating more and more the further I get in the game, the art direction. Yeah. I don't think I've ever come out of a playthrough of Final Fantasy IX and just been really impressed by that. It's always like sometimes there are certain things that when they're done really well, that aspect of it is a little bit invisible. Sound design is a really great example of this. If a sound designer does his or her job really, really well, they are an invisible aspect of the film or game or whatever. You're just immersed, but you're not thinking about, wow, what a great sound effect that was.
It just sounds as it should sound, which means you just you're not noticing it.
Right. And I think a little bit, though this isn't normally the case, the art direction, I'm not talking about the actual art, like the painting or something like that, but like the person who thought about how the thing should be designed and why.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Right. Who came up with the logic behind the design and how it ties into what the game's story is and what it's trying to say. And at this part,
this part is
this
that.
is what we're trying to do that, so we're going to design it this way. That kind of thought and purpose behind design, so art direction, is magnificent in this game. It's really, really good. Rivaling the best in the series, like we did a lot of talking about in FF10, which I think is another one of the strongest examples of really strong art direction in the series.
I agree.
So there was a time where I felt like, wow, Final Fantasy X has kind of just blown all these games out of the water, and now I'm returning this one. Actually, FF9's right up there with it. It's really, really well done. So
great one here in the Discord chat just said it's an inversion.
Yeah.
I like that word a lot.
Yeah, it's a good word.
Because inverse, you're looking inwards, right? And so as things become inverted, you also become kind of inside out, maybe in a way, that like instead of confronting things with brute force, it's actually humility that wins the day, if that makes sense. These are themes that are generally applied to Final Fantasy IX, but that just become a little more clear here within Ibsen's Castle.
Right.
So I like the idea of the inversion. Also, some of this stuff, like you're on staircases that seem like they're on the side of the walls, or everything just doesn't make sense here in terms of the way that the castle was, the architecture of the castle. But some of what it reminded me of a little bit is MC Escher. He's the guy. Do you remember? I know you've seen this before. The painting where it's like there's a staircase and it goes down in 4, but then it never actually goes down. It seems to loop.
It just goes in a loop.
But the perspective,
it's like paradox.
Yeah, it's a paradox. I think Inception kind of makes reference to it. The perspective that that is used by MC Escher, who's the painter who kind of made that whole scene, is one that just kind of gives you this eerie feeling. He made one called Relativity, and Relativity has, gosh, it kind of looks like the staircases in Harry Potter. How they like move around and they're all wonky and stuff. It's kind of that type of image, except the stairs are on the wall and on the ceiling and on the floor and everywhere, and you see people walking normally on all of them.
The movie Labyrinth, the 1980s
David Bowie
fantasy film, has this imagery in its ending.
That's right.
When he's running around and the baby's crawling up the stairs and she's trying to like go get the baby. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's so cool. But this castle evokes that as well.
Yeah. There's
something off and upside down and very strange about it. And so I invoke MC Escher when I see that kind of thing. It's just a questioning of reality. Like, what is reality? How does it function? If you turn it on its head, does it still work? And in some ways, it's like, well, depending on your perspective, if you just change your perspective, things still seem to function normally. It's just weird, but it's not all that crazy. It's another way to kind of just help sharpen your perspective or open your mind before you're about to maybe encounter like another world or something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's a really good like preparatory dungeon to not just for Zidane, but for you, the player, to kind of be eased into this world of madness, as opposed to thrown right into it all at once, which is the way it really did feel to me when I first played the game. But yeah, this dungeon kind of helps to ease that a little bit.
Yeah, it's great. This is also where Amarant gets fed up.
Yeah, that's right.
Amarant has had enough of following Zidane around and not getting how he operates or why at all. It all seems so stupid to him.
Yeah.
And so this is where he decides he's going to prove his point. You can go ahead with all of your friends in deadweight and try to like figure out like what to do here. I'm going to do it by myself, and whoever gets there first wins. And if I prove it, then I don't have to follow you anymore. I have to keep doing this dumb journey with you stupid people.
And you have an option. You could be like, no, you can't do that. I don't know. I've
never done that option. I don't know if it changes anything.
I'll bet you he'll do it anyways.
Probably doesn't. It's
Even
probably
if,
a but thou must situation. But,
yes, exactly.
But yeah, like I like the option of saying, sure, go ahead. Because that's very Zidane to me. It's like,
I'm not keeping people with me.
I'm not like forcing you to be here, bro. Like, I can't change the way you think. Do what you want.
Right.
That's just kind of his speed, the way he thinks. So he's cool with it, lets him do it. Because Steiner's like, oh, you're so selfish. Like, how could you? And he's like, just let him. It's fine. No big deal. Right. So Amarant goes in there, and finds the map with the tablets.
There's 4
that
of them.
represent the 4 shrines, the 4 elemental shrines.
And the 4 elements.
This, of course, is a callback to early Final Fantasy games with the 4 crystals and the 4 elements that sort of represent the 4 elements of the world. And when those crystals are consumed or damaged or thrown out of balance or destroyed, it throws the whole world out of whack. This is FF1, FF3, FF5.
Yeah.
So actually FF4 to a certain degree as well. Anyway, so he gets there first and we get there after. And so he feels like he's proved his point. He's like, all right, I'm out. Next time we meet, we'll probably be enemies. And then he leaves.
That's right.
But before we get to what happens after that, I loved, there's like a little wall that ends up being kind of like a shortcut back to the beginning of the castle. But he can't like get past the wall. So it's like, examine it, push it, pound on it, do something drastic. And he like walks back and turns around and does a little stretch. Then he runs over and just like kicks the wall. And it doesn't open. It's like, okay, rest next to it. And then finally he puts his back on it and woo, it opens.
Yeah, that's right.
So I loved that. Again, just
that
little clever, funny things peppered into the game, right? They're just always finding clever ways to do that. The game is more comedy, I would say, than drama in terms of like total screen time in one tone versus the other. But it's just fun to see where and how and when they pick to like pepper in something like that.
That's true, yeah, it is.
And it's always effective. It's effective every time.
Yes.
It's always good.
It's always very effective.
So anyway, loved that little touch to it as well.
And the music is crazy too.
Oh, yeah.
I think it plays the kind of the intro theme, but with weird notes.
Yeah, it's just some minor notes or mixed into that, like chord progression wise.
Yeah, it's very eerie, very cool.
Minor key, I guess is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So they leave after grabbing these tablets. There's a boss you fight there. Oh, that's probably important because there's a couple of really important things he says. He's like, return the tablets. Like, you can't break the seal. So I guess we haven't explained that yet. They're trying to figure out how to break a seal that
to
leads
get to the spirit
Terra.
road. There's a spirit road. Yeah.
That leads to Terra.
Yeah.
Right. They're trying to like get to this other world. And what Hilda told us that had been told to her by Kuja was that this place, Ibsen's Castle, has some kind of clue as to how to break that seal. So that's why we're here. And so these shrines, these elemental shrines, are places we're going to have to visit. It's showing you the locations of where they are on the world map. So you have to take the tablets from this map and go put them on a certain altar in each location where the shrines are at, and it has to all be done at the same time. You can't do one at a time. All at once, you have to put them all down together. Sort of coordinate it in that way. Those are the hints that this boss gives you in the dialogue there. Yeah. Also says something really interesting that I wanted to bring up here as well. One sec.
I put one is all and all is one.
That's the one that gives you the hint that they all have to be put down at the same time.
You'll never break the seal.
But there was something he says about Terra before you fight him. First, it's mirror, return to me, right? I guess they're not tablets, they're mirrors. And energy flow interrupted. Energy to Terra. You dare get in the way of Terra's master plan. What is this? My name is Taharka. Return my mirrors.
Taharka is a like Egyptian. It's
like one
of the early pharaohs.
Yeah.
Like early Egyptian pharaohs.
I guess this place does. I mean, it's a design-wise, architecturally, nothing like Egyptian architecture. But
it doesn't.
This particular room is a little tomb-like, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I'll go back to that lighting on. Energy flow interrupted. Energy to Terra. You dare get in the way of Terra's master plan. So the energy flowing part, and the whole thing about the Shimmering Isles that I told you to remind me to talk about last time.
Yeah.
We'll return to that. So they're hinting at some of those things. So you fight that boss, kill him, leave the dungeon, and Amaranth is not there.
He's not there.
The party members you left behind outside say they never saw him come out. There's another instance in which Zidane says, "You guys stay here. I'm going to go in real quick," and runs in there to go find him.
Well, as we were leaving, kind of in the room right before you exit, Vivi walks over. And there's a trapdoor opens, like right
that's
downward.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be Vivi, I guess, but for me it was Vivi. And then we walk out, and then as you come back in, if you kind of look at the place Amaranth ended up, it looks like he fell through that trapdoor.
Yes,
is what it looks like.
Yes, that's where he fell.
Yeah, and he's just like, ugh. So you climb down, and you can hear him a little bit, and then there he is, and he's just like, I told you we have nothing to do with each other anymore. Why are you here? I'm so confused, you know. Your human kindness is alien to me. And we learn a little bit about Amaranth. He says something. Actually, this might have come a little bit later. This came a little bit later, actually.
Okay.
This came later. I'll say it later. But yeah, Amaranth is very confused. He's like, I said the next time we met, it may be as enemies. And Zidane's like, I don't care. I'll just help you out. You can do whatever you want, man. But Amaranth, once again, feels very indebted to Zidane, and he's like, I have to travel with him again even longer, even though I don't want to, because he's trying to figure out what exactly the thing is that makes Zidane stronger than him, right?
Yeah.
And he can't figure it out. He can't figure it out. But he ultimately decides it's like Zidane's the way he approaches things is just
the way
different in
he
general.
Thinks. I lost to his way of thinking.
Yeah, his way of thinking.
He says.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we help him out, even though we don't have to. And then he comes back along. So he joins back with the crew.
Yep. And we head to each of these 4 shrines. You have to split up. So Garnet and Eiko go to the water shrine. Amaranth and Freya go to the fire shrine. It was hilarious because Amaranth says, do I have to go with her, meaning Freya?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess you wanted to go with Eiko. And he doesn't say anything. He just walks out.
That's so funny.
He's like, I thought so. So then he's trying to decide, by him I mean Zidane's trying to decide, okay, who do I send to the next one? It's like, I think it's probably a bad idea to pair Steiner with Kina.
Yeah.
So, and Vivi and Steiner have a really
friends,
great bond. And so it's like, okay, you guys go. And as he puts it, like I said last time, I guess at the beginning of this episode, he gets stuck with the leftovers.
The leftovers.
And Kina loves that because
leftovers
are a great thing in their culture.
Right. Says we have a saying amongst my people. Leftovers, good. Like, that's it. Leftovers, good.
Yeah, it's so like, no need to explain that you got caught with the leftovers. I know what you're saying. Like, I'm very happy to be your leftovers. It's so amazing. Great line. Really, really funny.
Absolutely.
So Zidane goes with Kina into the Earth Shrine. I don't know how you felt about this. I kind of wanted to ask the audience what they felt, because I feel like this could be viewed as the type of thing where they ran out of time, where like maybe originally
it's not like a full dungeon.
They wanted 4 dungeons.
I see.
That you run with different parties of characters.
Yeah.
That kind of just get boiled down to quick little action scenes, mostly between Zidane's group and Garnet's group.
Yeah.
So in Zidane's group, you at least get kind of like ATE,
like jumping
time events type moments where you click in time to jump and not get smashed. The others are not that way. You basically don't see at all how Steiner or Vivi get down to the boss, or how Amaranth or Freya get down there. You just see them at the end.
You see them at the end, yeah.
And
I think you're right.
I like how they presented it.
I do too.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I would have liked is to have fought all 4 bosses.
Instead of just
because
Zidane's,
these are the classic 4 fiends from the original Final Fantasy. Same names, everything.
Yeah, sure, okay.
So it's like, oh man, that would have been a really cool thing to fight the 4 fiends, like the classic Final Fantasy 4 fiends. So I think I would have been totally fine with this dungeon playing out exactly what it does if you had fought all 4 battles.
I see, okay.
But you only fight against the boss in the Earth Shrine with Kina and Zidane. And then everybody else, they're just kind of okay, we're done, come back and get us kind of thing at the end. So it feels like a really rushed thing. But my perspective, my opinion is I'm cool with not having 4 dungeons necessarily, but I would have really liked to fight all 4 bosses. So it does feel a little bit, and I have no reference for this. I don't know if it's true. Maybe it's exactly as it was intended to play out, but it felt a little bit like, we don't have time to finish this part.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to do it this way.
Maybe some more Xenogears feeling
The
stuff
game
happening
does
here.
become a little Xenogears. We were
quite Xenogears-y,
we
yeah.
were, foreshadowing this last episode. This was not what we were talking about necessarily, but it's another way in which
Meteor has a good point. Doing a battle with only 2 white mages would be
no, there could have been a cool challenge with that because the original,
definitely a challenge.
The original final, well, because they're summoners as well. They're not just white mages.
So they can summon and heal each other. It's true.
But one of the greatest challenge runs of the original Final Fantasy is 4 white mages.
4 white mages.
It's like the hardest way to play the game.
Yeah.
But people have done it, and it would. I think it would have been cool and another subtle callback to Final Fantasy 1 in a way. But yeah, they are summoners, and they have multiple ways of doing damage. So, you could have done a lot of really cool things, I think, creatively for that fight. It could have been a fight where they cast a lot of different things. You have to put up buffs, and you have to be constantly like replacing your buffs while also summoning to do damage. There's a lot of, I think, cool creative ways where that fight could have been fun. So anyway, wish we would have gotten that, but not the way it played out.
But I did like the way that we got to cut between all 4 of them as it was going. And then, of course, we realized, oh, no, it's all booby-trapped. You get the 4 fiends at the very end. The Guardians of Terra, they call themselves. So now we have a almost like light world, dark world kind of thing happening here.
Yeah.
So they have their Guardians. And it's, the dark... The Heroes of Darkness? Is that what it is?
Well, okay.
Something
another Final Fantasy trope, particularly Final Fantasy 3. You have the Warriors of Dark and the Warriors of Light, and there's supposed to be balance between the 2 worlds. So the 2 worlds concept has been used in a lot of Final Fantasy games too.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 5 is probably the best example of that. You get a little bit of that in FF4 as well, though that's more moon than 2 planets. But yeah,
right,
the 2 worlds concept was a big part of FF5, and so you're getting that here. There's just so many ways in which this game is calling back to or referencing this series as a whole, at least at the time, at the time of this game's release. China's just encapsulating some of like all the best vignettes or all the best parts, all the most memorable parts of like the stories of previous games. It's really clever. I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, it's very cool. So we're done with that, and of course, Aiko and Garnet, or Aiko's like, let's have girl talk. And I don't know, they had time. They, I guess, didn't do it because at the
Garnet's
very end,
confused by this.
Yeah, at the very end, Aiko was like, oh, here's my one girl talk question for you. Oh, it's over. The ship's here. Too late.
Yeah, I did like this scene.
I did too. I liked it a lot. It's just funny that it's like you had a lot of time to ask this question. But okay, so she waited till the end, asked the question, and then Garnet had a perfectly good excuse to just walk away from it because Aiko asked her if she loves Zidane, and Garnet's just like, what oh, the ship's here. Isn't it perfect? And she just leaves, and Aiko's like, hey, you were supposed to answer my question.
This is kind of another trope of at least romance stories or romantic comedies or whatnot, delaying the moment of saying I love you till course, the very end.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want to admit it. They don't want to be the first to say it or whatever. There's an insecurity there, not wanting to be the first to say it and then get your heart broken or whatever. I understand it. And I think this scene, it's the right choice to delay it. There is a scene later where I think it would have been really cool as a way of bringing Zidane out of the dark place he was in to have Garnet be the first to say it. It's not the way it plays out. I'm not saying it's the wrong choice. I'm saying I thought that would have been a really great way to get Zidane to wake up.
Yeah.
But anyways, they save their moment for this till later, and it's still really beautiful the way it's done. But yeah, she is blushing. She turns away. She doesn't know how to answer clearly she's feeling that, but doesn't know how to vocalize it or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of her internal feelings about Zidane there, but the ship returns, get back on board.
I love the ship just being able to just walk around it when it's docked, especially. Like the characters are all just kind of standing around. You get to talk to them.
Yeah.
Figure out what they're thinking. I love the airship for more reasons than just I can travel now. I do like that too. That's super fun. But just, I don't know, just as a part of the world and, being able to walk around on the airship, and you've got, the girl pilot, she's piloting the thing. I can't remember her name. Emile or...
Shoot, what was her name? She's been around since
Erin, that's it.
From the beginning, yeah.
So she's in it, and then there's another guy too who you switch your party out with him. I can't remember his name. He's always super formal and like doing his salutes and stuff.
And Zidane's always like, "Relax, dude." It's
I just love it. I love that it feels like a place that is alive and happening, and everyone's excited, and let's go on our adventure and let's have fun. I really like that about FF8. And all of them really, but it's just really cool the way they did it in FF9.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Get nice little lines of dialogue, unique lines of dialogue from the characters if you go talk to them.
Yep. And Vivi's still afraid of heights. Oh, and we didn't mention that when Zidane tells Vivi and Steiner to go to the Wind Temple, that Vivi steps out and immediately gets blown back by the wind.
I love that
And
part.
Steiner's like, just walk right behind me and everything will be fine.
Yeah,
because Steiner's just massive with heavy armor.
Also,
super
when
funny.
they're in the middle of their boss fight, the boss is like, "Which one of you fools will die first?" and Vivi's kind of like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think we can do it. He moves too fast." He's all doubting himself.
That's right, yeah.
And Steiner is always that sort of bedrock for Vivi.
Yeah, he's like, I will pin it down.
I'll hold him down, and then you cast the spell.
And he's like, but what if I hit you, basically?
I trust you.
I trust you.
The dynamic between these two
never hit
characters
me.
has been gold from the start.
It's good.
just great.
Steiner, from the start, Steiner just trusts Vivi. He sees the power, he sees the good intentions, and he sees the capable power that Vivi has. And he's just like, this is a real somebody. That kid's gonna go places. And then throughout the whole thing, everything he does is to enable Vivi to trust himself and to his own power and to his own goodness.
Yep.
Right? Steiner saw it in him to begin with, which is so funny that he didn't see it himself for so long. Whereas it's like everyone around him was like, dude, we know you're not just an instrument of murder, but he's been struggling with that this whole time, but he had to learn for himself that he wasn't. But, everyone around him, and foremost Steiner, has always been like, dude, like from the moment I saw you, I was like, this is a good dude right here. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Steiner was kind of the first one.
I think
there was that moment way back where even Zidane was struggling to know how to comfort him. And Zidane has, in many places, done that very well.
Yeah.
He's been great at it.
Yeah.
But it was Steiner who stepped up. It's like, so what if it is true? That doesn't mean anything.
That was on the ship on the way to Lindblom at the South Gate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So that's very good stuff.
Awesome
So we opened the Spirit Road. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Spirit Road.
On the Shimmering Isles.
In the ocean, in the Isles. And it's kind of like a vortex. It's like pulling everything into it. There's something in there that is like sucking things into it, like these glowing gold dots and whatnot.
Yep.
Now, an assumption could be that these are like souls or something like that, right? But I think what Terra is doing is forcing the souls in Gaia to remain as the mist, something like that, right? So we got to explain all this. This is very confusing. But once we get in there, the wonderful classic moment, this happens in FF10, and this happens in so many Final Fantasies, where it's like we're on the ship and we got to jump off the ship down and skydive down into the below, right? And you just got to jump, right?
Yep.
And so, everyone questions Zidane, but Zidane's like, we just got to jump, dude. It's sucking everything into it. We're just going to go do it. So you jump in and it turns into a bridge, basically, to another world, the world of Terra.
Yep. It's tough because I would like to talk about Gaza because this is the Shimmering Isles, which is a big part of the mythology and religion of the Gazan people.
Okay.
But there's a whole lot of making sense about what their religion actually means
Okay.
in the master plan of Garland and Terra's
We'll have to look into
resuscitation
this.
that kind of has to be explained first.
Okay.
So maybe we can just do this. Maybe we'll come back to specific parts of this entering Terra and Zidane confusion as he learns about the genomes and all this. We'll come back to those particular character moments because those are all really nice.
Yeah.
But just explain what is actually happening here. And I will try as much as I can
wild.
to use Garland's words to do that.
Oh, good. Hey, as wild as it was for us, the players, it was even wilder for Zidane. Just remember that.
Way more so. Okay. So we're going to skip ahead to the part where Zidane is taken back to meet with Garland and he explains everything
Pandemonium?
to him. At Pandemonium.
Okay, very good. By the way, pandemonium is a cool word.
Yes.
And it means the place of all the devils is actually what it means.
Oh, really?
Pan means all. It's Greek. Well,
Like Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The god Pan. And then daimon is where demon comes from. So Pandaimonium, and it was the place of where all the demons reside, basically. And it was coined by Milton. Sorry, John Milton. I think it was John Milton. In Paradise Lost.
Oh, right.
And he describes it as like, this is the demon place. So it's very interesting they went with pandemonium, but it also has a relationship with chaos just in general. Just like
Chaos.
chaotic. Very nice. Very nice. Gotta kill chaos.
Chaos.
So anyways, that's where we're at right here. I've got more to say about it, but let's go through this first.
The fact that word has a tie to the word chaos, and the fact that chaos is another
big Final Fantasy
name,
callback.
word, topic, concept is just another example, like the Terra Gaia thing you brought up in last episode, of how thoughtful they were about naming conventions in this game. Yeah. All right. Zidane enters Pandemonium. He teleports in. He says, "So this must be Garland's haunted mansion. Talk about bad taste in interior decorating."
That's such a 90s thing to say. That is the most 90s kid media thing to say. Like, really.
That's a really, really funny joke they used 100 million times in everything. No, I want to talk again about art direction for Terra. Really, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
The sort of like mushroom imagery and just like the alien nature of the world is so cool and way different from what I would have expected.
Yeah.
Of course, on our first time playing it.
I love this. It's a world without a foundation that we can see. There is no ground.
I loved that.
No foundation.
Particularly. It's just like chasms everywhere into an abyss.
And then you've got mushrooms and fungus. It's not just mushrooms. You get like a fungal network you can see, like strings and webs kind of connecting everything.
Now, I am a huge proponent of mushrooms and their necessity in ecosystems.
Yes.
They're actually a beautiful, beautiful organism.
You mentioned there's that documentary on Netflix about fungus and how important it is. Yeah.
There is a parasitic nature to mushrooms.
I love that you picked that up.
Go ahead.
No, you do it. Take it away.
So this is also symbolic of the nature of Terra as a parasite on other worlds.
It's just sucking energy.
As Garland is about to explain as we go through the dialogue here, this is why the mushroom was chosen in the art direction process as a symbol for this planet. Terra is a parasite.
Yep.
It has become that of other worlds to sustain itself. So let's get into this conversation.
That's so good.
So, all right, time to teach this tyrant a thing or two. Then we hear, "So we meet again." The old man from before, of course we know this is Garland. "Who are you?" 12 years ago, I lost one of my most prized genomes. I created him and sent him to Gaia to disrupt the cycle of souls there. You are that genome. I'm glad you have returned. Zidane says, "Shut up. Nobody tells me what to do." "And I didn't come here to answer to you. Let me guess. You must be Garland."
Zidane's the anarchist. Ooh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
"What if I am? Then you're going down, but first you're going to tell me everything." Like, why did I grow up on Gaia, and why do you want to destroy it? I kind of like the blocking of the scene here. Garland will kind of just like appear and disappear into different places.
And he like walks in the air.
Yeah.
And Zidane, you've got to like run and jump from thing to thing to follow him, but he just with ease just kind of moves from place to place.
It's a way of using blocking and movement and motion to kind of show his status and power in the situation. He's clearly like a stronger being than Zidane is. Zidane's, like you said, struggling to keep up with him as he just effortlessly like glides, moves, appears, disappears around the place. Almost in a single motion. It's like he's walking and he disappears, but like the motion continues just in another place.
That's right. Yeah.
There's just this mastery of his body and motion and the environment,
his surroundings.
It's like he's one with the place. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Okay. So Garland disappears and reappears behind him. I have no intention of destroying Gaia. I only wish to make Gaia into Terra. Zidane, what did you just say? Garland says, of course, not everything went as planned. You growing up on Gaia, for example. There's another one built as you were. He may be the one who threw a wrench into my gears. He's talking about Kuja.
Yeah, it's Kuja.
Zidane says, who the heck are you talking about? Garland says, someone you know quite well. Follow me. The time when the aura of Gaia will turn into the crimson glow of Terra has not yet come. He walks away. I may need your help anyway. So Zidane, stop. Tell me everything. Garland says, I constructed the genomes to be vessels for the souls of the people of Terra when they awaken. But 24 years ago, I gave life to a genome that was very much like you. His will was too strong to make him into a proper vessel, and I even considered discarding him. But then I thought that I should put his strength to use. I sent that genome as my servant to disrupt the cycle of souls on Gaia. Tell me who he is already. Do you not know? You and he are so much alike. Alike? I've never met anyone like me. You judge only the appearances. I mean someone with a soul similar to yours. That one I sent to Gaia might also be called your brother, and his name is Kuja. So this is the big reveal that Kuja and Zidane are brothers of a kind. Right.
Yep. Kuja is a tail person.
He just hides it.
Yes.
I don't know how he's hiding it because he's basically wearing a thong. But
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I guess he kind of has that long kind of coat tail cape thing on the back side of it.
But you would still.
But I mean, like, you know, from the front. Anyway, we'll not get into details of how that might be hidden. Don't you see the resemblance? Sorry. This is where he says he's a genome. Impossible. He doesn't even have a tail. He's only hiding it. He denies his own identity.
Yeah.
I liked that.
So the tail is part of his identity. Yeah.
He rejects the meaning of his existence and tries to assert his own individuality. Don't you see the resemblance? Now, take note of how similar this all is to Vivi and the Black Mages, right? Yeah. So Garland was constructing, in what would I only assume, a similar process. This is actually makes a lot of sense because Kuja would have done something similar to what he knew.
Right.
So he comes to this world and is like, I need to construct some vessels of destruction. Yeah. Similar to what the genomes were, right? Similar to what he was. He constructed a being similar to himself. And I love, he actually says towards the end of this, when you fight him later, how similar he is to those Black Mages who he so despised. And the reason he so despised them is because he is so much like them. Ooh, and he hates what he is.
That's right.
He's trying to transform himself, like you said last episode. He's trying to transform, turn into something different.
Yes, because of the number 8. He's got this octagon 8-point kind of theme around himself, which is that he's trying to become something other than what he is.
Right. So he basically went off of what he knew, what he came from, and devised a plan in which he would use something similar to a genome on Gaia. And those genomes were the Black Mages.
Yep.
Kuja, he's a genome, and possibly he's in a tail. We already read that. Shut up, I'm not like him at all. He said the same thing when speaking about the other genomes. I'm not like these guys.
Right.
His ambition was unbecoming of a genome, but it was perfect for the mission I gave him, to bring war and chaos to Gaia. That was what I sent him to do, to induce an unnaturally chaotic flow. The disruption of the flow of souls is best brought about by war, and what he did for me far exceeded my greatest expectations. Zidane says, what about me? How did I end up on Gaia? Garland says, when you received the gift of life in Branbal, which is the city here on Terra, Kuja couldn't bear it. He could not bear to see a genome with more power than his own. He felt threatened. Kuja just discarded you. He dropped you onto Gaia, the world he would destroy. So I was to be your slave, just like Kuja, to start a war on Gaia? That is correct. I did not expect Kuja to abandon you, but I believed it was his nature. Yeah. And to him, bringing war to Gaia would prove his victory over you. Perhaps it is because of his desire to justify his existence that he let you live as well. There's a lot of stuff to break down here. I'm going to maybe return to some of it in a minute, but there's more important things I want to kind of get to the heart of here. Zidane says, so is that why the blood of thousands had to be spilled? Are you referring to Kuja's ambition or to our plan to disrupt the cycle of souls? I liked how he needed a distinction about which thousands.
Which spilling of blood. Yeah.
Which part do you mean?
Yeah.
Which thousands of blood?
That's so bad. That's so bad.
They're like, all both, I guess, Zidane says. And what exactly do you gain by disrupting the cycle of souls or whatever? We must sort the souls. I want to disrupt Gaia's cycle and drain its souls, filling the void with the souls of Terra. To speed the cycle of souls is to speed the work as a whole, thus war. And in time, Gaia's souls are gone and Gaia becomes Terra. But how? You saw it with your own eyes. You saw the Aoife tree and the mist it emits. The role of the Aoife tree is that of a soul divider. The mist you see comprises the stagnant souls of Gaia. Okay, so why don't we try to explain this a little bit? I have a
good way to explain it. Watch Spirits Within.
That's a good place to start.
Very similar.
Hironobu Sakaguchi, who is the creator of the Final Fantasy series, came across a little concept called the Gaia hypothesis at some point in the early 90s. And really, really liked it. Yep. Sort of latched onto it big time.
Especially in the time after his mother died.
Yes.
This really gave him a lot of comfort.
So his mother died during the production of Final Fantasy III. So this would have been
89?
89. I think
Something
the game
that.
was released in 90 in Japan. So yeah, would have been during production. So we'll say year 1989 or thereabouts. And it had a really profound effect on him. He was deeply, deeply, I don't want to speak too much on his behalf. Maybe I shouldn't put it that way.
It seems to have affected him quite a bit.
It seemed to have been very traumatizing to him.
Yeah.
Not just in the sense that we all would all understand. You miss your mother, this woman who gave you life and who raised you and hopefully you were close to and nurtured and raised you and all that. But this seemed to have create more of a existential kind of dilemma in his mind. It wasn't just my mother's gone. It produced this deep thinking about life and death as a whole,
right.
What it all means and all of that. So I would assume that in his searching for answers to those types of deep human questions, that he came across the Gaia hypothesis. We talk about this a lot in our review / retrospective podcast episode on Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. So if you have not seen that episode, I encourage you to go watch that one, where we get much deeper into the man who sort of created this concept and why and all of that. I'm going to give a very brief nowhere near complete sort of breakdown of the idea.
Okay.
The idea is that as the environment on Earth and its place in our solar system has changed over millions of years, somehow there has been this kind of average that the world seems to be able to reach in terms of the ideal conditions for life. So,
like an equilibrium or something, yeah.
Millions and millions of years ago, right? As time goes on, billions of years ago, in fact, the sun expands.
That's right, yeah.
And so the sort of perfect Goldilocks area of where the planet should be away from the star changes with that sun expanding during the course of its lifespan.
Right.
Yet, despite all of that, the Earth seems to somehow make adjustments and seems to just, obviously, when we're saying this, there are obviously great changes in climate with ice ages and things of that nature.
Equilibrium doesn't mean everything is always flat.
No.
Like there's fluctuations with environmental
fluctuation
changes.
And then it adjusts.
Yes.
And then there's a fluctuation and it adjusts. And
life,
it adjusts.
as Jeff Goldblum would say,
life
finds a way. Yeah.
So in noticing this, in observing this fact or phenomena, whatever you want to call it, that the Earth just seems to find equilibrium. It seems to adjust and adapt in such a way to where it just continues to be this perfect place for life to thrive. The idea came about that the Earth itself is a life form of a kind. And if it's, and I don't want to get too caught up on this, I know that that's not exactly what was posited. In fact, he made it a point to say, I'm not saying the Earth is alive. I'm saying it kind of looks like that.
Right. It is something like alive. Something, in the neighborhood.
Even if it's not alive, it behaves as if it was.
Right.
And that's kind of interesting. Is all I'm saying, science community. Don't like friggin', hate on me or whatever. Don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't excommunicate me from the ranks. I'm a scientist too. Trust me. That's obviously a silly way of summarizing his thoughts on that, but he never doubled down or really made the stance. I am saying Earth is alive. He's just saying it behaves like that. That's kind of interesting, and I think it's worth talking about. But Sakaguchi took that idea and ran with it for the Final Fantasy stories that he began producing after coming across this concept, which is most well embodied and explained in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
it's not as well explained in this game as it is in that one, which makes me think
they're just counting on everyone having played
Final Fantasy VII already and kind of getting the concept. Because there's a great scene in Final Fantasy VII where Bugenhagen explains the whole concept that the life stream is the spirit of the planet. And from the life stream is born life forms who live their lives, die, and those spirits return back into the life stream again. And that cycle continues on and on and on and on. You return to the planet when you die. That is also the case in this game. Planets in this game, like Gaia and Terra, have a core spirit, whatever you want to call it, a life stream. We saw it in the Aoife tree. They were looking down at that core, right?
Yeah, this mesmerizing, beautiful, liquid.
And so the life forms of that planet come from that core and return to it when they die. So that's kind of the part that is not really explained here, and they have a beautiful visual in FF7 that kind of shows the people die, go back to the planet, and come back as a dog or a tree or whatever. So there's the reincarnation sort of aspect to that, but you always return back to the planet again. So we have Gaia and we have Terra, two different planets. Gaia's life works exactly the same way. The people of Terra, as we learned about back in, which dungeon was it? With the faces? Oveliert.
Over, yeah.
Yeah. Their planet was dying.
Yeah.
So they were trying to find a way to survive the death of their planet. Their mortality was creeping up on them.
Yeah.
They shrank in fear.
The planet stopped producing bountiful harvests, and
you know, the natural course of things.
Right.
Eventually, the planets die too. So they decided, well, they tried many different ways, as was explained, to resuscitate their planet. Didn't work. This is what they came up with, what Garland is explaining here. They would go to another planet and disrupt its cycle of souls. So the souls, when they die, are not allowed to go back into the planet again.
Yeah.
They are slowly emptying that core, so to speak. And the mist is the byproduct of that soul division process that the Aoife tree is doing. The Aoife tree is taking in the souls, but not allowing them to go back to the planet and dispersing them back out as mist.
Mist, yeah.
Okay? These sort of inert, wandering, listless, stagnant souls in the form of mist. That's what's happening there. And this process has been going on for a long time. They're depleting that core so that Terra's souls can be inserted into Gaia's. Its core can be ignited with the souls of Terra's life and drained of Gaia's life. And then the planet will become Terra at that point.
Yeah. It's like a transplant. They're doing a metaphysical transplant surgery.
Yes.
Is what they're doing.
Very much more concise way of putting it than I did. They are trying to transplant the soul of Terra into Gaia.
Yeah.
And by so doing, the body becomes what the soul is. Right?
Yeah.
It just becomes Terra because the soul is Terra.
At least that's their theory.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And the idea is they've probably done this more than once in the past.
I think so. Yeah.
And Garland is the one who oversees this. So all of Terra's people are kind of in a stasis somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be transferred into Gaia, and it's going to change because Gaia's soul is kind of this blue color, but Terra's color is the color of its soul, so to speak, is a red color. So when Gaia's soul becomes red, it will have completed its transformation into Terra. That's the master plan here. I hope that makes sense.
Sort of.
Think I explained it correctly.
Makes as much sense as it was explained in this game.
So, essentially, in order to do this, Garland sent Kuja, who was a genome. So the genomes are just empty vessels. And they're empty vessels that are going to accept the souls of Terra's life when they are transplanted into the other planet.
Yeah.
These bodies will then be given a soul, and they'll come to life. So they're just kind of vessels, empty vessels waiting for a soul to be put into them.
Another way to understand this game would be to play Nier Replicant.
Yeah, actually, yes.
A lot of ideas from that game come from this one as well. Not completely. There's a very different take on it, but
yeah, some similar concepts. Great one is bringing up here, hence the zombie enemies of the Aoife tree.
Ah, the undead. Right. That makes sense, yeah.
These are Terra life forms, Gaia life forms, most likely, that have died, and their spirits cannot go back to the planet. They just get dispersed out as mist.
And so the reason why Kuja was sent here just to agitate and cause war is to eliminate more souls, but those souls don't get recycled. So we just need to purge this place of souls, which means we need mass death events and things to happen, and those souls never get recycled back in.
They just get dispersed out as more mist and more mist and more mist and more mist. And that is slowly draining the core of the planet of its spirit, energy, life stream, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because they're going out, but they're not coming back in again.
Yeah.
They're interrupted from going back in. And when that process is complete, Terra souls will go in, planet will change, and Terra, they go on for however many more millions or billions of years on that planet and then do it again when that planet dies. That's the idea. And Kuja was meant to initiate that process by causing chaos, and the mist happened to be the byproduct, but also a method to cause more war because it affected people, made them more warlike and aggressive. Same with animals that became monsters, right? So that's what's going on with all of that. But Kuja was a little too strong-willed, a little too ambitious,
Right.
and had his own ideas, and individuality became a pursuit. Yeah. And he was not the ultimate tool. He was just the initiator. You're going to go get this process started. I got a better genome model coming after you that will finish the job. When, he's completed, he'll take your place and will discard you or whatever. Kuja didn't like that. Kuja did not like that one bit.
Right.
So he stole that genome, who was supposed to replace him, dumped him on the planet, which he was about to destroy. But as he said there, something really, really important about why he didn't just kill him, and actually answers my question a little earlier about the end of disc 1. Why didn't he just stab him right now?
Now, I know a reason, but I'm curious if Kuja understood that reason or not.
Yeah. So maybe he doesn't understand it, but there's something holding him back.
Yes.
So this is what it is. Perhaps it is okay, let me read the whole thing. I did not expect Kuja to abandon you, but I believed it was his nature. And to him, bringing war to Gaia would prove his victory over you. Perhaps because he wanted to finish the job, I have no need for a replacement.
Right,
I can do it myself.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is because of his desire to justify his existence that he let you live as well.
Okay, that's
I have
different
to show you that I'm better than you.
I'm better. Gosh. Xenogears, man.
This is the Xenogears part of Final Fantasy.
Xenogears part. We're just invoking all these other things. But I think that's what Sakaguchi and the whole team here with all the behind crafting all the scenarios. I think they just were like drawing from all sorts of other places.
I really think that this is very true. There are certain games, well, it doesn't have to be games, it's in any art, that are transformative works, but that the public maybe doesn't latch onto in the same way as the creators do.
Yeah.
And the creators all get inspired by that work and then go make things that become the mega hits. So Final Fantasy VII, I'm not saying this to disparage Final Fantasy VII. I think Final Fantasy VII is amazing. But Xenogears was pitched as Final Fantasy VII.
It was, yes.
It was rejected and then very quickly stolen from.
That's kind of funny, huh? How about that?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of Xenogears DNA made its way into Final Fantasy VII.
Gosh, and that does kind of make me wonder if that is some reason why, among other things, Takashi Tezuka, like...
Tokita. No.
Sorry.
Tetsuya Takahashi. That's it.
Why Tetsuya Takahashi just kind of left the company.
Yes.
Was like they're using all my ideas, but when they let me make the game, he had all sorts of reasons. But a lot of his stuff was taken from. Like there are certain works of art that are for other artists, and then there are certain works of art that are for popular consumption.
Yes.
Xenogears seems to be the kind of game that other game makers really liked and used those ideas. Just like Spirits Within was the kind of movie that didn't make a ton of money, but that a lot of people referenced it when they said, well, after I saw that movie, it gave me, like the director of Mass Effect and other things, like that movie is what gave me ideas about what to do with my thing. And it's like, there are certain things that just kind of have that quality. Yeah, Xenogears was definitely one of them.
Yeah. There are other great examples, though these have later come to be revered as all-time classics and some of the greatest films of all time.
Yes, later.
Initially were not well received.
Yeah.
Movies like Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner, that's right. 2001.
So much has been taken from Blade Runner.
Yeah,
in the sci-fi genre and particularly cyberpunk genre.
It's like it was before its time, or that's what people usually
2001,
say.
You just said that.
Yeah.
Another great example. I mean, Aliens, Star Wars, almost every major science fiction, giant successful science fiction that's come afterwards was directly inspired by that movie. That movie changed how science fiction was made forever.
Yeah.
But a lot of people came out of that and went, what is that?
Yeah.
And it was almost such a flop that they
almost pulled it.
Left theaters and was pulled early. And some of the theater goers were like, hold on. There's some druggies coming into my theater to watch this movie. We might have something here. And so they left it a little longer.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talk about all this in our 2001: A Space Odyssey episode if you haven't seen that. Okay. I think we've explained as well as we're going to what is happening here. Yeah. Now that we understand that, let's go back to their arrival in Bran Ball and the personal struggle that Zidane goes through during this section of the game.
Yeah.
So we remember back to Black Mage Village when he was telling the story of the man who was looking for a place he could call home.
Yeah, right.
And how he was telling this story as a means of explaining what's going on in Vivi's head, but actually explaining his own story.
Yes.
Right? How he himself tried to find where he comes from and never found it. Yeah. Well, be careful what you wish for. That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah.
He learns where he came from, and he does not like it at all.
Right.
Did you have something you were going to say there?
No, it's just that he didn't take it quite as bad as I thought he would. He takes it pretty bad, and it breaks his entire world and his psyche. But he doesn't take it as bad as, say, certain other characters from other games. Or, like, even as he's learning this stuff, he's just like, okay, so now I'm just going to kill you, basically. It's what he's telling Garland. Because Garland says, oh, you're supposed to kill all of the Gaians. And Zidane's like, how about I kill you instead? And that's when Garland basically decides, like, hey, you're useless. I'm just going to kind of take away your mind, basically, something like that.
Yes.
But Zidane resists it right away. He never really goes with it. And he's still kind of making his sort of funny quips along the way about it until that moment happens. But as he learns more and more about himself, he seems to be actually taking it rather well. Like it's not completely breaking him.
In the way that maybe you would expect a normal person to. Like if I don't know, if that happened to me,
I would be broken
or if that happened
down.
to you.
Yes, absolutely.
You might just kind of like curl up in a ball and go like, holy fetch, I'm an angel of death.
Oh, by the way, do you know the Japanese word? Do you know the Japanese word for angel of death?
I do not know the word. Any Japanese
It's a word.
words.
No, it's a word you know. You know this word.
Okay, I know.
Think.
I know what words. Japanese words do I know?
Angel of death.
I know.
There's a specific, so this word is used
in...
it's
Shinigami.
Yep, you got it.
Shinigami.
Yep. So Shinigami from like Death Note, basically. Yeah. Shinigami is the word that is used in Japanese for this. He is an angel of death, which is a very good translation of Shinigami, I think. Kami means like God, and Shini means to die or to kill. And so, yeah, angel of death is a very good translation there. But yeah, compared to anybody else, including even Vivi, Zidane is just like, all right, I guess I'm from here. I don't really like this place. I don't like any of you guys. I would rather just go back to where I'm from. Like, he's not really breaking necessarily. And even when he breaks, it wasn't really brought on by what he was told. It was just Garland is really powerful and has a lot of control over his psyche.
I think you're right. But there are certain ways in which he reacts that are just very out of character for him.
Yeah.
That I think are indicative of how distressed internally he is, although he's not very vocal or like expressive.
You're right. Everyone can tell something's wrong.
In fact, it's the fact he's not being vocal and expressive that is the sign that he is struggling internally so much. That's true.
Even Queena kind of notices.
There's a moment where he just walks out. Doesn't say anything to anybody. Right, yeah. He doesn't say, hey, I'm going to go for a bit, be back later. He just walks out without saying anything.
Yeah.
That is so out of character for Zidane that I think it is really indicative that something very wrong is happening in his mind. He would never do that. Never would do that. He's always going to come to Garnet and be like, hey, I'll be right back. I love you so much. Or have some friggin' quip about, how, like, I don't know. He would always have something to say.
Yeah,
that's true. Any other time. And he just walks out. So, very weird for him.
So the way that he handles it is different, but it is kind of by somewhat maybe just like shutting down or turning off. This is kind of something that I struggle with, that whenever I am severely like challenged in a way that other people will have an outburst of like rage and be really upset, or like have a panic attack, or just like lose control. For me, I kind of just turn off. Like my emotions stop. I become very stoic, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
And very just like I don't feel things.
There is a term for this, and I'm actually kind of mad I'm not remembering it right now. So because of what I do for work, which is anti-human trafficking work, there's a lot of conferences and different things I've been to where they talk about the
trauma
responses
Yeah,
and things like that. And there is a specific term for that, which is you kind of just numb out. You kind of just shut down. Your dial just kind of gets turned down, and it just kind of becomes expressionless or much more subdued in a certain way.
It's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is. It's a way of numbing the pain or trauma that you're feeling, a defense against that intense kind of trauma. So something like that is what Zidane's trauma response seems to be, is kind of how I would term that. So I guess it's a shock, first of all, that the first thing you see when you enter this new alien world is a being that looks almost exactly like him.
Yep.
Similar hair,
That's
tail.
right.
It's a female. It's a girl, Mokito or something like that.
I wrote it.
Moko something.
I did
Mokito or
not.
I can't remember.
Makoto or something.
Something like
I
that.
didn't write it down, but yeah, it's a Japanese name.
Anyway, she tells him her name at the end of this whole thing when they're all trying to escape. And it's just like, whoa, his whole life. Mikoto, there it is.
Mikoto.
Thank you, Medio, in the comments here.
That word actually can mean like a princess or a royalty or something
Mikoto.
like that. Yeah.
It feels like I've heard that name in other anime.
It is a common Japanese name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Makoto, I think, is more for a male name, and Mikoto would be a female name.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, they follow her, and she's a bit cryptic in things. Actually, the first thing, sorry, I misspoke. The first thing they see when they go there is Garland, and he's just
that's right,
an old
illusion.
man, and he's just saying cryptic, stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't know anything at all.
You're so ignorant.
Wow, what a fool! You've forgotten everything.
Yeah.
Kind of sentiments. Then you see Mikoto. You follow her into Brandball. She explains a little bit about the fact that, well, first she asks. This is a really funny scene, actually. She asks Eiko to tell Zidane to come talk to her down in the basement of this building over here. But she comes up to her. Mikoto comes up to Eiko, I should specify. Where is your man? Or something like that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's an explanation for that in Japanese as well. Where's your man?
Do you want to talk about that?
I can. So the word used in the Japanese is kare. And kare just means he. Kare is a very strange word in Japanese in the sense that it doesn't only just mean he. Sometimes it can mean like a boyfriend. Or same thing with kanojo. Kanojo means she. But if you say, hey, this is my kanojo, it means it's like, this is my girlfriend, basically, or my woman or man, or what you could say that for kare. This is my kare. Oh, are you guys kare? Are you like
in Portuguese? I mean, at least in Brazilian Portuguese was the version of it I'm learning. It's for wife, but there are two words. There's esposa,
yes,
but there's also mulher, which is just the word for woman. But you could say minha mulher, and that would mean my wife. So it's just my woman, my wife. The word for woman is also a synonym for wife.
So one of the words for a boyfriend in general is kareshi. Kareshi, and that could be why they would just say kare. But either way, it's the same word. And also, so what is being asked of Eiko here is, hey, where's your kare, basically. And it could, in Japanese, there's like a double entendre there. It's like, hey, where's he? Where's the guy? But you only really say that when you're talking about someone's boyfriend. And this is hilarious because this person doesn't know Eiko. I could see Kuja or somebody else being like, hey, where's your boyfriend? Just making fun of her, knowing that she can never get what she wants, right? Just a way to get at her. But this girl uses that in a way without really knowing the actual relationship that's going on here, or the fact that Eiko is like madly in love with Zidane. And so for her to say that is like, I don't know if she really meant it that way or not.
Yes.
But that's the way that it comes across.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
But Eiko's response to it is the funny part. It's like,
I haven't even called him that.
Even I haven't dared to call him my man. Like,
right.
That's crazy.
And how would you translate that, though? Like, people may be critical of the translation choice, but I think it was a fine choice.
No, I think it works perfectly.
It's awkward, but there is no good way to translate that particular word
like sentiment
in Japanese.
doesn't really
unless you just say boyfriend.
Doesn't have an equivalent.
Not really.
But
really.
I think it really worked.
Not in the double entendre sense.
Because, there's a possessive nature in calling someone your man.
Your man,
that really works in this instance.
Yeah.
Because she's shocked by the boldness of stating it in that way. But then she says, tell him to meet me down in the basement over here. What makes you think I'm going to tell you?
And she
tell
does.
him to go meet you somewhere? Like, are you crazy? Like, this is Garnet's man, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to tell him to come
madly in love.
meet you in some dark basement.
I think she calls her a pervert.
Yes,
doesn't
she does.
She's like...
Yeah.
Which in Japanese would be, there's two ways to say it. One of them is hennayatsu. Hennayatsu, it's just like a weird person. The other one is hentai, which is, of course, means perverted or strange or weird. So she probably, anyways, it's the suggestion is, do you really think you're going to like pick him up in the basement? What's going on here? Now, it's so funny because if he hadn't, if the insinuation that this was a boyfriend or a your man type of, which I don't think that's how Mikoto meant it. I don't think so.
But I would assume it's more like a sterilized sort of use of language that they all have. This very robotic.
Well, Mikoto
matter
does,
of fact.
Especially in the Japanese, Mikoto does speak with a high vocabulary, and they mention it at the Black Mage Village later on. But the translators don't give her the way that she was translated, the way that she should have been in Japanese, which is very, very high spoken, very intelligent sounding, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do a great job of conveying that in English, but that is supposed to be it. But because Eiko took it the wrong way at first, it colors the rest of the conversation to where the last thing she says is "you're perfect."
Well, and then
so funny.
As a Shy Guy brings up here, I mean, she straight up calls her a bimbo at a certain point.
Oh my gosh!
But if you talk to the other genomes, a lot of them are speaking in this sort of scientific way about adaptation in certain environments and
that's right.
whatnot, in a way to where it doesn't really jive with what Zidane is asking them. Zidane will walk up and say, hey, where's a place we can rest? And they're like, does your body require rest or require and very...
It's so funny because they have beds and they likely knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But they still were just being like it's like they're thinking past what Zidane's saying.
Yeah. And the idea is...
why do you need
the idea is, again, we kind of talked about this with the... Black Mages earlier. If this were a science fiction story, they would be robots.
Yeah.
The Black Mages would have been robots,
and
the genomes would have been robots.
Yeah.
That were going to have the souls of people put into them as artificial bodies or whatever. Maybe not robots specifically. Maybe something more like cyborgs or part mechanical, part organic, or something like that.
Something part machine or part robot.
That's essentially what they are, but in this fantasy setting, they term it a little different.
They're fleshy vessels.
So they don't have a soul. They're not alive. They're chat GPTs walking around, just giving you responses that feel very robotic in nature.
Yeah.
A little bit disconnected, a little bit not kind of the warmth you would expect.
Very disconnected. Like we mentioned before, this is the importance of the fact that we can't see the ground. They're disconnected from a grounding, from a foundation. And it's so funny because these vessels, especially when you see them around that crystal, that's got like the swirl going around it, and they're like, it's funny because what they say is like, we come here to like learn things or to hear, but we're not really doing it for any of the knowledge. We're just trying to keep our brains from atrophying, basically.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to keep the gray matter liquid. Something like
that.
Liquid probably isn't the right word, but I mean it in plastic. Is that a better word? The plasticity of the brain. And then it's funny, they don't actually care to know, but they're preserving the vessel for future use. But they have no grounding. They like the reason they're doing it is disconnected, completely disconnected from first off what the thing even is. You don't learn stuff just to keep the neuroplasticity. You learn stuff so that you can know stuff, but they aren't.
Enrich and be enlightened and
to improve your life.
Path.
Yes, the way of the scholar or something like that.
Whatever it is.
But they're disconnected from the purpose of the thing, and instead they're just extracting the utility of it, which is neuroplasticity. And so, but it all connects symbolically to the lack of foundation, the lack of grounding that happens. Yeah. They're just doing stuff without like purpose other than the utility that was programmed for them. Yeah.
So he's encountering all of this and kind of just shutting down increasingly as more and more of these conversations happen. He's becoming a little bit more irritable throughout all of this.
Yeah.
So Eiko goes in and says, "Oh, that weird girl, you're not going to believe what she tried to tell you to do. Get a load of this."
How she just tells him. I love
she wants you to go meet you in this dark basement. Isn't she a freaking pervert?
Like you're going to do that. And Zidane
and then he
up.
just walks out.
And
it's just like, whoa, what? Garnet's like right here, Again, in Eiko's mind, the only thing she can really think about is the romantic part of this. Not like the soul-shattering revelations that are happening.
Right. Like these people all look like Zidane.
Yeah.
She's
really too young to really like connect with that. She's only interested in romance.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he follows her down there, learns that essentially everything we've explained. The genomes are created to be vessels for Terra's souls at the time in which, Terra is transplanted into Gaia and all this. He's like, okay, whatever, you're telling me all this. I guess I'll go talk to Garland. I want to know the truth, but like I'm not going along with you. If you think I'm joining you, you're freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So he eventually goes in, has that whole conversation with Garland we just referenced before. At the end of that, he says, "All right, you've told me everything. You're going down now." I think there was a really, really clever way he said it. He said something about you're an angel of death. He's like, "You're right, I'm an angel of death. I'm your angel of death."
And that's what I mean by him just taking this all relatively well.
Yeah.
That as soon as he learns everything, he's just like, "Okay, great. I'm still going to kill you. I'm trying not to let this affect me, actually." Right?
Yes.
It is affecting him. But he's like, I'm going to defend my friends no matter what, and you're not one of them. So look out.
Yeah.
But the reality, I think, is that he's more affected than he's letting on.
Yeah. So Garland essentially says, "Well, you're too good of a vessel for the purpose for which you were created.
Yeah.
To
like just
turn you back into a regular genome.
Right.
But I have no choice.
It has no choice.
You're too far gone." And so
they need to make another Zidane that's even less willful.
There is what I interpreted here as a process in which he's trying to take away his like individuality, life force,
what happens
soul,
here?
Something like that. But that somehow Zidane resists that. And he resists it because his friends interfere with the process.
That's right, because he's put in that chair in that chamber.
He's just sitting in that chair in the chamber, and I especially loved the use of blackness. Mm-hmm. How, first of all, it cuts to black, and you have like the text that comes up as he's sort of thinking things to himself, his depressing thoughts.
It's like losing himself.
But then it comes from black into the chamber, but then goes back to black, but leaves Zidane alone in like a void of blackness.
That's right.
Which is what's happening in his mind. His mind is in the process of being sort of erased. He's like, who am I? Right? He's like even struggling to remember who he is. So like it seems whatever process Garland was doing is like happening, but is interrupted by Vivi and Eiko arriving, which is really important for the whole theme of this sequence, which was, again, what Amaranth learned about Zidane's way of thinking is what beat him, which was his strength comes from, one, his virtue in the sense of his willingness to do whatever it takes to help someone in need.
Right.
And how that built a foundation of friendship around him to where he was always helping these other people. And in turn, they wanted to help him, but he never saw it that way. He always saw it as he will just do whatever it takes to help someone in need. Someone's in need, that's in my nature. I help them.
Yeah, it's just who I am. Yeah.
But he never saw the return of that favor necessarily.
Oh, right.
Even though it was happening all the time, he was always like, you guys stay here. I'll go take care of it. I'll go do it alone. You guys, hold up. You stay here.
I help
I'll go
you
do it.
if you need help.
Yes.
But stay put whenever I need something.
He didn't realize that all along they were supporting, helping, watching his back, whatever. And he needs it most especially right now. This is like the moment in which he needs it. This is the moment in which Amaranth's like, I go it alone philosophy is totally proven to be not the way to make it. Because he would have otherwise turned into a genome and been a soulless husk walking around talking about scientific terms.
Looking at the blue crystal.
But Vivi and Eiko show up and interrupt that process, and he's like, whoa, what are you doing here? He's definitely, his mind is a little muddled. And even his body.
Yeah, he's like limping.
He's like limping through the scene.
Yeah.
But
that means there's a disconnect with his brain, because I don't think he broke his leg or anything.
No.
It's just the neurons.
They're not firing.
The synapses. Yeah, the electrical signals aren't getting properly. So his brain was in the process of being disconnected from his body.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So that it could be replaced and then all. But yeah, he kind of was interrupted halfway. But he can still move a little bit.
Yeah.
And as soon as his friends help him out, he kind of tells them to go away again.
Yeah, because I think what hit him the hardest, the realization that hit him the hardest, was not even the I'm a genome and I was created for this purpose. It was like, I don't know if I can accept your friendship. I was built for the purpose of destroying you.
Right, I am a weapon.
We're basically succeeding in it. Like all that mist on that world are like souls of people that can't go back to the planet. And this is all happening because of where I come from.
Right.
Like I was part of this tragic process that is going on. Like I'm an enemy of the people of Gaia.
Right.
And if you knew that, you wouldn't accept me, right?
Yeah, I think he even says that to Mikoto before he goes in.
Yes.
Oh, and I do have to mention that there's a tree up at the top of this mushroom that is the entrance by which Zidane goes to talk to Garland. I can't tell what kind of tree it is. It's just a gnarled looking tree. But something in my head gave me the idea that it could be something like the Bodhi tree, which is where the Buddha attained enlightenment underneath it. But it's like a dead one. It's no, because Bodhi trees can get pretty gnarled. Like they can look pretty crazy. But this one only has like a few leaves left, and it's just mostly branches that just look kind of crazy. And then we go in to this place right at the base of the tree in order to learn this stuff from Garland, and then we come back out later. But it seems like something like that. Like you go here into this tree to attain knowledge, but it's a screwy tree. It's not right. There's something wrong with the tree. It's not a natural tree necessarily. Right. It looks like something's wrong with it. So I did want to bring that up as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just kind of the whole nature of Terra itself. It looks very synthetic or...
Yeah, Garnett says that. She says everything here looks artificial.
Artificial is the right word, yeah.
Artificial, but built after a motif of fungus. It's not like straight lines everywhere. It's like there's a lot of curviness and weirdness going on, but it still just looks fake and hollow.
Yeah, exactly. So he's struggling internally with the fact that his heritage, where he comes from, is the reason for all of the death and bloodshed on Gaia. He's feeling maybe the weight or guilt of that, not being worthy maybe of the friendship that they give him, but he's emoting in a way that sort of like is pushing them away.
Yeah.
So it's like, you stupid kids, you just don't freaking understand, just go away.
He starts to get really mad at them. Yeah.
And then he's just kind of walking through and, gets attacked by a monster, and Freya and Amaranth show up to help. Amaranth gives him a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. Like, you're the one who freaking taught me all this, and you're being a hypocrite right now. He's like, shut up, you don't get it. Screw you guys. Like, keeps going on. And there's like Steiner and Kina. They also try to encourage him. I think Steiner says something really funny like, I'm still trying to determine whether you're the right man for Princess Garnet or Queen Garnet or whatever. It's like, I don't even care about that. Shut up. You screw you guys. You guys are dumb. Keeps walking. And then he eventually says something that sort of reveals what's really going on. He says something about like a bunch of stupid bastards or something like that. And then walks forward a little bit and says, well, but I understand I'm the biggest bastard of all.
I'm the worst one. Yeah.
Right? And then it's Garnet who's the last one, who, because you're in a battle that an attack happens that reduces your HP to 1. She comes in to do a heal spell, cure spell, and then sort of encourages him at the end of that. And the big part of the point of what she says is, you're not understanding. You're thinking like you did all of this to help others, or you acted in this way. We were there with you, watching you all along as well. And we cared about you, and we're here for you too. And so like it finally gets through to him at that point. Like he had friends just like the type of friend he was to them.
Right.
They're all there. They all feel the same way, and they all want him to come back. And finally like snaps him out of this.
And
depression.
he can walk better after that.
Yeah.
It was his brain wasn't reaching all the levels of the elevator. The elevator didn't reach all the floors. Everything didn't work properly until he makes this realization, and then he seems to kind of be healed physically as well as mentally. Yeah. And he kind of has to apologize. And it's funny because once Garnet finally wakes him up, and then you turn around and it's like, hey, where's everyone else now? And it's like, oh, they're behind that door. They got like locked in. They got shut in. We have to go save them. We have to go help them out now. And Garnet's like, what, you jerk? Like, you didn't bring them with you? And he's just like, I don't know. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But he comes to terms with it, and he heals relatively quickly, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, once Garnet kind of snaps him out of it.
And it's the power of friendship.
Yes, the power of
friendship is what heals him.
Yeah.
But it's more than that, though. I mean, it you could boil it down to that if you wanted to be snarky about it, I guess. But I think it is deeper than that. I think it's not boiled down or as simple as just that platitude. I think there really is something important there that has been foreshadowed, commonly referenced, particularly in Amarant and Zidane interactions, and in which he also needs to sort of realize himself, even though he was the one trying to teach Amarant those principles. He kind of forgot them because he was in the process of having his freaking brain erased or whatever, and needed to just be reminded to, okay, I'm back. I'm restored. Whatever he did to me didn't work. We're good to go. And the music here is really good too. It's really, really interesting. It's a fan favorite piece. You're Not Alone is the name of the song there. But the thing that I pulled out of it, the note that I pulled out of it was the electric guitar here, like the lead electric guitar sounds exactly like the distorted electric guitar from Melody Assistant.
Melody Assistant, 1999, yep.
I don't know if anybody out there used Melody Assistant back in the day.
Yeah, it's
a DAW editor of a sort, back before, Cubase and all the ones you have now that are popular. But that's what we used to write music for our RPGs and RPG Maker. Back in junior high and high school.
Create some dope midis.
And that particular electric guitar sounds like it's straight out of Melody Assistant. Good times.
I love that they didn't have the guitar be so super prominent the way that we did, though, when we were on Melody Assistant.
He actually mixes his songs well.
Yes, and it's a good sound. It sounds nice.
It's great. Okay, so then you go through Pandemonium here to face...
Oh, we also got to mention that a lot of the stuff within Pandemonium looks like the Aoife tree.
Yeah, in fact, there are eyeballs everywhere.
Oh, that was crazy.
Tons of eyeballs.
Yeah.
But also there was one spot where it was like an eyeball, but it looked like lips. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. All on the walls, there was that place with lips.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy.
Really weird.
Silent Hill 2
I have
kind
no
of
idea what it means.
Shivers down my spine. Yeah, I didn't know what that meant either. Because there were the faces, there's the eye, there's the lips. I haven't seen an ear or anything, so it wouldn't be like just the five senses. But yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to make of it.
Didn't know what to make of it, but it's a creepy place.
There's also a bunch of like shells where he's at. Like it almost just looks like fossils, maybe.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what it was other than it had that spiral motif that the Aoife tree has.
The Aoife tree has.
Yeah, like like snail shells, but I want to say almanite shells. Almastar.
Oh, sure.
Almastar shells.
Yeah, those whatever those things are called.
Yeah, the ancient
one of the
fossils.
first land / water animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Pokemon that look like it.
Looks exactly like it. Yeah. You see him in all the dinosaur museums.
Exactly. And Animal Crossing.
Yeah. So anyway, this all leads to a dungeon that takes you up to face Garland.
Yeah.
And you fight him, and Kuja was just kind of waiting for the two of them, I mean Zenon and Garland, to clash.
Yeah.
So that he could
steal
the Invincible and be like, ha, you were so busy with him.
Yeah.
The dog bites its master. Now is my time. So you weaken Garland. He kind of uses that as an opportune moment to arrive and defeat Garland and use trance, which is what he learned from Mog back in Mount Gulug.
Yep.
He was like, oh, I can use trance to become ultra powerful. That's the power that I need.
And it's like Super Saiyan trance.
Yeah, basically Super Saiyan. And the whole tails and everything.
The tail.
Definitely Dragon Ball Z.
Fur.
Or Dragon Ball, I should say. Inspiration here seems pretty apparent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, there was something that Great One posted. It was a line of dialogue from Garland around this part where he says he's trying to explain or justify what they're doing. But think for a moment, isn't life death itself? It must kill other life forms to survive.
Sounds like Agent Smith.
Yes. But also, it's interesting how when the Terrans came to this place where they had exhausted, at least to their estimation, every other method to revive their world, and they were considering this idea of becoming parasites of other worlds and leeching off of them to survive, that they began philosophizing as a means of justification. Well, if you really think about it, isn't life and death the same thing? And don't you move? And you start going through all of this to be like, see, so it's okay for us to kill everybody, commit mass genocide on this other world because it's all the same anyways, right?
This is true.
But yet you can't just like let yourself die and that.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't have to die. See, the theory of evolution and things like that kind of really, the invention of eugenics and the idea of genocide that it all just kind of there's a scientific way of, and especially the idea that there's no free will or things like consciousness or like the idea that like there are a lot of these ideas that you can philosophize yourself into that can have some pretty disastrous consequences.
Sure.
Right, where it's just like, oh man, like Aristotle, he had an idea that most humans are just slaves, but like they want to be slaves, right? And that the society should act accordingly. So it's a justification for slavery. These philosophers are able to kind of really just kind of work their way around anything and find some way in order to justify whatever it is that they want to. If you just think hard enough, you'll come up with something.
This is just mental
gymnastics.
Mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
Human beings
epiphenomenal justification.
Are really, really good pattern seekers.
Yes,
and so with enough pattern seeking,
with
you
enough
can
patterns,
find your way.
You'll find
into
something.
An explanation that justifies anything you freaking want it to.
Anything you want to do.
He goes on to
say
here,
which itself is a philosophy that can then lead to bad things because now we're in postmodern. There is no truth, and it's like, okay, well, that also all philosophy leads to problems. That's what I'm saying.
So he goes on to say here, it's a world in which life and death become one. Ooh. Yes, that's so. But isn't it so convenient that you always get to be alive in this life and death becoming one concept?
Yeah, don't bring that up. But hey, someone's got to be alive.
Oh, gosh.
And then survival of the fittest comes in to the rescue.
So anyway.
For Garland.
You defeat him. He's weakened. Kuja comes down
and literally just kicks him
off the ledge.
Him off the cliff.
Well, I liked how he like gave him like a chance to like any last words.
Yeah.
And he said something like, what did he say? He said like he basically tells him you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not
That's
eternal
right.
or whatever. And he's
That's
like,
right.
what? But I feel like
It's after he kicked him off.
I
We
feel
hear
like
the voice.
after he kicked him off, but
Yeah.
before he did that, he said something about
There
his
was
free
something.
will or something about.
Well,
it's something that just irritated him, right?
Yeah.
And so he just like freaking kicked him off the ledge,
Yep.
300 style, just like out of here, fetch you.
This is Terra. And then Garland speaks. He speaks from
the depths,
from the
abyss.
the lack of foundation, and then informs Kuja, just so you know, you die when he dies, or you die when he's mature, when he reaches his full power.
You have a time.
You're
limit.
gonna die.
Just like Vivi,
We
just like the
programmed you that
Black
way.
Mages,
Yeah.
you have a time limit, and it's about to run out really soon.
Yeah, and
Bye-bye.
bye. It's so good. And then Kuja is freaking out at first, and then the ironic laugh kind of emerges. Like, no, you're lying, aren't you? You're totally lying, aren't you, Garland? Garland? Answer me! Oh, the cruel irony of fate. And
this is where he had that line about, oh, I'm so like those black mages I despised. Isn't it so funny? Isn't it a comedy?
Yes, isn't it a
He
comedy?
goes back to the play motif he keeps coming on.
Yes.
Isn't it so funny? No.
Because he's going to take charge. If the world is going to continue without him, he wants to be the fate of the world, right? And the only thing he can do at the end, if he's going to die, he has to destroy everything in one last expression of free will before then he dies.
Yeah. I talked about when we were talking about Hilda, that Kuja, what he wanted more than anything was to leave his mark on the world.
Yes, that's right.
And that's exactly what Garland says will not happen.
Cannot do.
You're going to die, and you will be totally forgotten.
Yeah.
You will never leave your mark on the world. Bye-bye.
Ooh.
Dies, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what strikes him. That's what really hurts. And so this breaks something in Kuja. It's like, if I can't freaking be here, none of you fetchers get to be here. And he trances and just starts destroying everything in his path.
And the fact is, Garland just gave him philosophical justification to kill whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, oh, isn't life and death the same thing? Yeah. For you, just like what Zidane had said before. Yeah, and the angel of death for you. And so then Garland justifies this whole thing, and then immediately Kuja's like, oh, I'm going to use that on you. Like, no, I didn't mean for that. Whoops. But Garland takes it all pretty well, once again, for somebody who just had his thousands of millions of years of I was programmed to do this, and now I'm dying, and it's all going to unravel before me. Like, well, at least you're going to die too, Kuja. Last laugh. And Garland doesn't seem to care that much. Kuja cares quite a lot. So he goes Super Saiyan mode, and I don't know how he got this power.
It's the trance. It has something to do with
his trance is
trance.
more powerful than any trance.
And I think there's something to, he had this epiphany that the level of trance he wanted would come specifically from the intense anger on the environment.
Right.
Like,
so he started to hate everything around him.
Yes, that's how he realized, I don't need a powerful Eidolon to fight Garland. I just need to hate everything a lot. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to Super Saiyan like a beast and just like annihilate everything.
Right.
So there's something to trance that I certainly would say is not the kind of trancing we're doing when we're fighting. We're fighting for different reasons.
Yeah.
In a moment of desperation, a will to protect someone else, all those other things he had observed trance being before, that he said, wait a minute, that Moogle just showed me there's some other element or other level or aspect to trance that's all about hatred. And if I use that, I can trance way harder.
Super Saiyan 6, Super Saiyan 7.
And that's all I need. And so he trances harder than everyone's ever tranced.
Very nice.
And just starts blowing up the whole planet.
Everything. Cutting down all the mushrooms.
Yep.
Just boom, harvesting to the fires.
And so the party is running away, but Zidane, as is his nature,
it's like,
gotta save the genomes.
Gotta save
it's
the
not
people
their
I hate.
fault.
Yeah.
He is one of them. He understands it. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
If they had been born into my circumstances, into my environment, they would have been like me. So tries to, you go this way, I'll go home. I'll go this way.
Exactly.
And we'll gather all the genomes and get them on the Invincible, which they'll steal and go back to Gaia again.
That's right, yeah.
And the last one he collects is Mikoto. Sort of, she's like, well, you freaking ruined everything now. I don't have a purpose. I was supposed to replace you eventually.
Right,
so she realizes she was like the next genome that would have replaced Zidane. And he's like, forget all that. You have a name, and people are going to call you by that name a lot more in this new place. And you can figure out whoever it is that you want to be there.
Right.
Don't stay here.
They have this whole discussion of like, once your purpose or your creator is not around anymore, what do you do? And Zidane says it won't be easy, but we'll figure it out, basically.
Yeah, wasn't that something Garland said? Don't you know what it means to meet your maker?
Yes, to meet your maker.
That's a good line.
Yeah, respect me. And it wouldn't happen. Yeah, you have met your maker. And that's what all of the genomes are thinking. Like, that's our maker. Oh no, we have no purpose without a maker.
Right.
And yeah, Zidane is like, well, he's kind of helping them graduate to a higher law, a higher system, a higher level,
a higher way of thinking.
A higher way of thinking, which is not these...
How you defeat Amaranth, apparently. A higher
yes,
way
that's
of
right.
thinking.
It's a way of thinking. Yeah. And so, they all come back into the real world. And some, like Garnet, or I can't remember who it was like, hey, we're good now. Everything's good because Kuja's dead now. And it's like...
Yeah, they thought he died with the planet.
Yeah, and Zidane or somebody was like, I don't know if he's really dead. I don't know that he would have died with the planet. I'll bet you he'll come back soon.
And then Steiner comes running out from the bridge. You got to come see this.
Come see this.
Can't you just explain it?
No.
It'll be a lot faster if you just
it.
come freaking look at it. I don't know why it'd be faster. You could just say the planet's covered in mist.
Exactly.
Come take a look.
Whatever.
But they go to the bridge and there's just mist everywhere.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's the way that it was or if it's more than
it's way more
even
than
was.
before. Way more than before. It's covering. They thought it was clouds. He's just like, there's cloud cover.
Just lower your altitude.
We are way low.
Yeah.
That's not cloud. Those are not clouds. That's mist.
That's mist.
There's a lot of mist. There's way more mist than before. It's a fetching ton of mist.
Yeah.
That's the hook, the cliffhanger that leads into Disc 4, the final act of Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, man.
We have made it to the end of Disc 3.
Can't believe
Congratulations. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to you. Beat the game. Finish Disc 4. It's not super long.
Yeah, it's not long.
Beat the game, and we will come back next time to discuss the ending. We will have one final episode after getting to the ending.
Yeah, where we just talk about
roundtable discussion, kind of like we've done on Xenosaga and other games in the past. So look forward to that. But thank you for watching. Appreciate everyone, and we'll see you next week.